we will tell these stories. In 1692, the New England village of Salem, Massachusetts became embroiled in one of the worst chapters in American history. During a one-year period, the Salem witch trials took place. Over 150 people were jailed and 19 were executed. Salem was part of the Puritan theocracy. The government, laws, courts, and social standards were established and monitored by the Puritan Church.
Oh my God. God help me. Betty, child, dear child, will you wake? Will you open your eyes? Betty, little one.
Uncle, Susanna Walcott is here from Dr. Briggs.
Oh? Let her come.
Come in, Susanna.
What does the doctor say, child?
He bid me come and tell you, Reverend Sir, that he cannot discover no medicine for it in his books.
Then he must search on.
Aye, sir. He's been searching his books since he left you. But he bid me tell you that you might look to unnatural things for the cause of it.
No. No, there'd be no unnatural cause here. Tell him I sent the Reverend Hale of Beverly, and Mr. Hale will surely confirm that. Tell him to look towards medicine, but put out all thought of unnatural causes. There'd be none.
Aye, sir. He bid me tell you to speak nothing of it in the village, Susanna.
Go directly home and speak nothing of unnatural causes.
Aye, sir. I pray for her. Uncle, the rumor of witchcraft is all about. Why do you not go down and deny it yourself? The parlor's packed. I'll sit with her.
But what shall I say to them? That my daughter and my niece I discovered dancing like heathen in the forest?
Uncle, we did dance. But let me tell them I confess that I'll be whipped if I must. But they're speaking of witchcraft. Betty's not witch.
Look, Abigail, I cannot go before the congregation where I know you have not opened with me. And what did you do with her in the forest?
Uncle, we did dance, but when you leaped out of the bush so suddenly, Betty was frightened, and then she fainted, and there's the whole of it.
Child, sit you down.
Uncle, I would never hurt Betty. I love her dearly.
Now look you, child, your punishment will come in its time. But if you traffic with spirits in the forest, I must know it now. For surely my enemies will, they will ruin me with it.
But we never conjured spirits.
Then why can't you not move herself since midnight?
We're only sport, Uncle.
You call this sport?
Uncle, there's nothing more. I swear it.
Abigail, look, if you know something that can help the doctor, for God's sake, tell it to me. I saw Tituba waving her arms over the fire when they came on. Now, why was she doing that?
She always sings her Barbados songs, and we dance.
Look, I cannot believe what I saw, Abigail, for my enemy's not blinking. I saw a dress lying in the grass.
A dress?
Aye, a dress. And I thought I saw someone naked running through the trees.
You mistake yourself, Uncle. No one was naked.
Look, I saw it! Now tell me true, Abigail, and I bid you feel the weight of truth upon you. For now my ministry is at stake. My ministry and perhaps your cousin's life. Whatever abomination you might have done, give me all of it now. For I dare not be taken unaware when I go before them down there.
She hates me, for she must. For I will not be her slave. It is a bitter woman, a lying, cold, sniveling woman, and I will not work for such a woman.
She may be. And it is trouble, you see, that you are now 7th month out of her house. And in all that time, no other family has called for your service.
They want slaves, Uncle, not such as I. Let them go to Barbados for that. I will not bluff in my face for any of them. Do you begrudge my bet, Uncle?
No.
My name is good in this village. I will not have it said it is soiled. Goody Proctor's a gossiping liar. Your pardon, I want to see how Betty is.
Will you leave me now? I'll pray all alone.
But, Uncle, you have prayed since midnight. Why do you not go down?
No! I have no answer for that crowd. I'll wait till Mr. Hale arrives.
At least you'll go down, Uncle. They're thirsty for your word. You should pray with them.
Well, I'll leave them in a song. But let you say nothing of witchcraft here. I will not discuss it. The cause is yet unknown. I've had enough contention since I came. I want no more. She starts with the window, cry for me at once.
I will, Uncle.
There's a terrible power in her arms today.
How is Ruth sick? It's weirdish, I know not. She seems to walk like a dead one since last night. Betty? Now sit up and stop this, Betty! Have you tried feeding her?
I think we could go to North. Wait there for a minute. Here, let me
No,
help.
they'll be coming up in a minute. Look, and if they question you, you tell them you danced. I told them as much already.
I want more.
He knows Crucible conjured his sisters out of the grave.
You want more?
He saw you naked.
Oh, Jesus.
What do we do? The village is out. I just came from the farm. The whole country's talking witchcraft. They'll be calling us witches, Abby.
She needs to tell. I know it.
We've got to tell. Witches are hanging there. A hanging like they've been done in Boston 2 years ago. You'll only be whipped for dancing and the other thing. Oh, we'll get. I never done none of it, Abby. I only looked.
Oh, you're a great one for looking, aren't you, Mary Warren? What a grand thieving courage you have.
Betty, now stop this! Mine you seem improving. I talked to your papa. He knows that you danced. He knows that you did everything. Come on, my mom. What ails you, Betty? Your mama's dead and buried. I'll fight her, Mom. Let me fly. I talked to your papa, Betty. He knows everything we did. You gave blood out. You didn't tell him that. You'll never say that again. You did. You think it's time to kill John Price's wife. You think it's time to kill. I said, shut up! Now look, you. All of you. We danced, and that is all. And mark this, that either you breathe a word or the edge of a word about the other things, and I will come to you all in the blackness of a terrible night, and I will bring a pointy reckoning that will shudder all of you. And you know I can do it. I have seen Indians smash my dear parents' heads on the pillows next to mine, and I have seen some reddish work done at night. And I can make you all wish you had never seen the sun go down. Now look, sit up and stop this. What's got her? She's going to die. It's just... I said shut it, Mary Warren.
Right this way, Mr. Hale.
Great, someone take me.
Well, you did come prepared.
We shall leave hard study that comes to track a young little boy.
Oh, do you know this man? It's Mr. Thomas Putnam and his good wife, Nan.
Putnam, I had not expected such distinguished guests.
It does not seem to help us today, Mr. Hale. We look to come to our house and save our child.
Your child ails too.
Yes, her soul. Her soul thinks on the way. She can't do that anymore.
She cannot eat.
Not eat.
Will you look at my daughter, sir? She's trying to leap out the window. We discovered her this morning on the high road, waving her arms as though she'd fly.
Tries to fly. She cannot bear the Lord's name, Mr. Hale. That's a sure sign of witchcraft afloat.
No, no. Now let me instruct you. We cannot let the superstition in this. The devil's markings are precise, and there is definite stone. Now I shall tell you all that I shall not proceed, and they shall prepare to believe me, lest I find no proof of hell upon her.
Please agree, sir. Please agree. We will abide by your judgment.
Good. Now, what was the first notice of this stranger?
Well, I discovered her and my daughter and 10 or 12 of the girls dancing in the forest last night.
You permit me?
No, it was secret.
Mr. Paris states on knowledge of the conjuring, sir.
We cannot be sure of that, Goody Ann.
I know it. I sent my child. She learned from Tidbug who murdered her sister. Goody Ann, you sent a child to come to the dead? Let God blame you. Not you, Rebecca. I'm not having you judge me anymore. Is it not enough to work? You 7 children born the other day.
7 dead in childbirth.
What book is that?
What's that, sir?
Here in this book are all your familiar spirits, caught, defined, and calculated. Here are your familiar spirits. Your witches that go by air, by land, and by sea, and your wizards of the day and the night. If the devil has come amongst us, we will find him out. And if he has shown his face, I mean to crush him utterly.
Who have hurt the child for?
I cannot tell, but if she is truly in the devil's grip, we have to rip and tear her free.
Well, how could it be the devil? I mean, why would he choose my house to strike? We have all manner of licentious people in the village.
What victory would the devil have to win a soul already bad? It's the best the devil wants. And what not better than the minister?
That's deep, Mr. Parrish. Deep. Betty, answer Mr. Hale. Betty!
Does someone have to your child? It need not be a man or woman, mind you. Perhaps some bird invisible to others. Are there some figure bids you fly? In nomine Domini Sabot What sort of dancing were you doing in the forest, Abigail?
Why, common dancing is all.
Look, I think that is it. Well, I saw Caroline in the class never
Well,
danced.
that were only suit.
What were in the suit, Abigail.
Why, beans and lentils, I think.
Mr. Parrish, you did not notice, did you, any strange movement in the kettle? Perhaps a mouse or a frog?
Well, I do believe I did.
Well,
see
that
something.
jumped in. We never put that in.
What jumped in?
Why, a very little frog
A
jumped in.
frog, Abby?
Abigail, your cousin's life could be at stake. Did you call the devil last night?
No, Gingerbread did.
She called the devil?
Betty! Betty, wake up!
Abigail, you cannot evade me. Did your cousin drink any of that brew?
No, she never drank it.
Did she ask her to?
No!
Why are you considering with me? Have you sold yourself to Lucifer?
No, I'm a good girl. I'm a proper girl. I want to open myself. I want the light of God. I want the sweet love of Jesus. I saw the devil. I danced with him. I wrote in his book. But I go back to God now. I kiss his hand. I saw Sarah Good with the devil. I saw Goody Osborne with the devil. I saw Bridget Bishop with the devil. I saw George Jacobs with the devil. I saw Goody Howe with the devil.
She speaks! She speaks!
Glory to God, the spell is broken.
I saw Goody Silver with the devil.
The marshal. I'll call the marshal.
I saw Martha Miller with the devil.
Let the marshal bring iron.
I saw Goody Hawkins with the devil. I saw Goody Fibber with the devil. I saw Goody Booth with the devil.
America's second attack on freedom came in 1949, following World War II. The stage was set for America's second witch trials. An intense fear of communism was felt in the United States. Americans had been shaken by several events which led to the Red Scare, fear of communists in our society. In 1949, Russia exploded its first atomic bomb, thus ending America's military supremacy, which it had held since the end of the Second World War. In 1950, Communist Mao Zedong defeated Chiang Kai-shek and drove him from China. China, with nearly 1 billion people, was now a communist state. On January 21st, 1950, Alger Hiss, former presidential advisor to Franklin D. Roosevelt, was found guilty of communist activity, bringing fears that communism was at the highest levels of the U.S. government. These events contributed to the growth of an anti-communist hysteria in the United States. Senator Joe McCarthy and others capitalized on this hysteria and began accusing people of being communists.
One communist on the faculty of one university is one communist too many. And even if there were only one communist in the State Department, even if there were only one communist in the State Department, that would still be one communist too many.
Thus began America's second witch hunt, the witch hunt for communists.
Your name is Theodore Pappas,
Yes.
and your attorney's name is Brenda Johnson. Give the reporter your address and telephone number, if you will.
Brenda Johnson, 19 Tremont Street, Boston, Massachusetts, phone number 70754.
You give the reporter your address, Mr. Witness.
99 South Street, Lynn, Massachusetts.
You're working for the G plant in Lynn, is that correct?
Yes.
What type of work are you doing there?
I'm a tester.
A tester. And you've been testing in building 74?
That's right.
What type of materials do you test?
Aircraft generators.
Are those generators you're testing for the Navy or the Air Force?
Well, I think it's both, to the best of my knowledge.
That is classified work, I see.
No, it isn't. Would you explain what you mean by classified?
Is the general public allowed to come in and investigate the type of work you're doing?
I don't know if the general public is allowed to come in or not.
Are there guards at the gate?
There are guards at the gates. Yes, ma'am.
Do you have to pass to get into the plant?
We used to have a pass, up until about a few months ago.
You have to identify yourself in order to get into the plant.
No, not at the present time.
Well, anyone can go in other words.
Present time? Yes, ma'am.
Well, why are there guards there? I wonder.
I guess GE can answer that better than I could.
Are you now or have you ever been a member of the Communist Party?
Before I answer that, may I ask why I've been subpoenaed?
You certainly may. You have been subpoenaed in connection with alleged espionage and alleged communism in a plant doing government work. The fact that you have been subpoenaed does not mean that the committee has made any decision as to what, if any, improper conduct you may have been guilty of. The committee has not yet decided whether you are a communist or not. A number of good Americans have came to this court. You are here because we think you have information that can give us information of value in the investigation we are now conducting.
Is your primary purpose espionage or political beliefs?
Communism and espionage. Communism is a conspiracy that is not a political party. Now that you have that information, would you like to answer the question?
What is the question, Ian?
Are you now, or have you ever been a member of the Communist Party?
I would like to refuse to answer that question on the basis of the Third and Fifth Amendments.
Do you feel that your answer to that question might intend to incriminate you?
I say I would like to refuse to answer that question on the basis of the Third and Fifth Amendments.
I asked you whether or not you feel your answer would intend to incriminate you, and you refused to tell me whether or not you think your answer would intend to incriminate you.
I have to stand on my answer.
What is your answer on that, sir?
I feel I cannot answer that question on the basis of the Third and Fifth Amendments.
Have you ever hired a communist lawyer?
I object to that. Let's be reasonable.
The witness is ordered to answer the question.
There is a danger it might reflect on me.
I have asked the witness whether or not he is a member of the Communist Party. That does not reflect on you.
I think it's in the presence of everybody here, I would like to object to that.
You have objected. Now the witness will be ordered to answer. Let's put it this way. Have you ever hired a lawyer known to you to be an important functionary of the Communist Party?
Can I discuss this with the council? I will truthfully say no.
Better have the word knowingly.
Knowingly, I've never had the occasion to ever hire one who's been suspected and also known. I have very little legal action in my life or court activity.
Has a communist lawyer ever represented you?
No, ma'am.
Have you ever engaged in espionage?
I would wish to state that I have never engaged in espionage.
You have never engaged in espionage.
I have never engaged in espionage. You have no basis to make such a charge.
Have you ever engaged in sabotage? It is a simple question. Answer yes or no.
I have never engaged in sabotage.
If we were at war with Communist Russia, and the Communist Party ordered you to sabotage any of the facilities at TE, would you obey or disobey such an order? I'm not asking you whether or not you are a member. I am merely asking whether you would obey or disobey such an order if you knew it came from the Communist Party.
I would like to state again that I would not commit sabotage under any circumstances.
You'll be ordered to answer the question.
If I receive such an order from the Communist Party, I'd like to state again I do not know what this is all about, but I'm a loyal American. I would never commit sabotage or espionage against the laws of the constituted government of the United States.
You'll be ordered to answer the question, sir. What is your answer?
I've lived in this country all my life. I've fought for its principles, and I would do it again. It's the only form of government I know and I'm satisfied with.
Do you believe in the principles of the Communist Party?
I don't know enough. That's the only answer I can give.
You'll be ordered to answer the question.
I could give an answer that would be pleasing, would be acceptable to you.
Do you feel that the Communist Party is better than ours?
See, didn't I just answer that question?
Then it is your answer to the question that you feel our form of government is superior to that of the communist form?
It's the only form of government I know and I am satisfied with.
Would you fight against communist Russia?
Would I fight against communist
If
Russia?
this country went to war against communist Russia, would you bear arms against communist Russia?
I would.
Thank you, Mr. Pappas. That is all for now.
Meanwhile, back in 1692, Salem, Massachusetts was conducting trials also. Founded on the accusations of several young girls, the community tried, convicted, and punished over 100 citizens based on evidence which was nothing more than jealous gossip and unfounded fears. But the fears of the community propelled the trials towards a disastrous end.
Now, Martha Corey, there is abundant evidence in our hands showing you have given yourself to the reading of fortune. Do you deny it?
I am innocent to a witch. I don't know what a witch is.
How do you know, then, that you are not a witch?
Well, if I were a witch, I would know it.
Why do you hurt these children?
I do not hurt them, I scorn it.
Evidence for the court! Thomas Palmer is out for land! Remove that man! Hearing lies! Lies!
Question, Excellency.
I have evidence. Will you not hear my evidence? Let me talk, Deputy. Let's go!
Silence!
Out of my way, Herrick. I have evidence for the
Tell me, Mr. Giles, it's the courtroom.
Who is this man?
Giles Corey, sir.
I'm asking questions, and I'm old enough to answer them. The name is Corey, sir. Giles Corey. I have 600 acres of land and timber in addition, and it's my wife you're condemning now.
And how do you imagine to help her cause with such contemptuous right? Now be gone. Your old age alone keeps you out of jail for this.
Excellency, I think you should hear me. He claims hard evidence for his wife's defense, and if...
Let him submit his evidence in proper affidavit. You are certainly without procedure here, Mr. Hale. Clear this room. Come on, go.
We have proof of your eyes, and God forbid you shut them on him. The girls, sir, the girls are frauds.
This is contempt, sir, contempt.
Please, Judge Hawthorne. Do you know who I am, Mr. Corey?
Sure I do, sir, and I'm sure you must be a wise judge to be what you are.
And did you know that nearly 400 are in the jails for Marblehead to Lynn? And upon my signature,
I never
and 72 condemned to hang by that signature?
I never thought I'd be saying this to such a weighty judge, but you're deceived.
Mary Warren. She was speaking with down here.
She would speak with the deputy governor.
Did you not tell me Mary Warren was sick in bed?
She were, Your Honor. When I went to fetch her to court last week, she said she would. She's been struggling with her soul all week, Your Honor, and now she comes to speak the truth of this.
Who is this?
John Proctor, sir. Elizabeth Proctor is my wife. Beware of this man, Your Excellency. This man is mischief.
Excellency, I think you should hear the man. He claims hard evidence for his wife.
She never saw no spirit, sir.
Never saw no spirit.
Never. She signed a deposition.
No, I accept no deposition. Tell me, Mr. Proctor, have you given up the story in the village?
We have not. They've come to overthrow the court, sir.
I pray you, Mr. Carey. Do you know, Mr. Proctor, the entire contention of the state in these trials is the voice of heaven is speaking to the children?
I know that, sir.
And you, Mary Warren, how came you to cry out people for sending their spirits against you?
Pretense, sir.
I cannot hear you.
They were pretense, she said.
Ah, and the other girls, Susanna Walcott and the others, they are also pretending?
I, sir.
Indeed.
Excellency, surely you cannot think let so vile a lie be spread in open court.
Indeed not. But it strikes hard upon me that she will dare come here with such a tale. Now, Mr. Proctor, before I decide whether I should hear you or not, it is my duty to tell you this. We burn a hot fire here. It melts down all concealment.
I know that, sir.
Let me continue. I understand well husband's tenderness with regard to extravagance in defense of a wife. Are you certain in your conscience, mister, that your evidence is the truth?
It is, and you surely know it.
Now, Mr. Proctor, what deposition do you have for us? And I beg you to be clear, open as the sky, and honest.
I am no lawyer, so
The pure in heart need of lawyers. Proceed as you will.
Would you read this first, sir? The start of the testament. People sign it, declare their good opinion of Rebecca, my wife, Martha Corey. Their good opinion. They're all land-holding farmers, members of the church. If you've noticed, sir, they've known the woman many years and never saw no sign of dealing with the devil.
How many names are here?
91, Your Excellency.
These people should be summoned for questioning.
I give you all my word that no harm would come to them for signing this.
This is a clear attack upon the court, sir.
Is every defense a clear attack upon the court? Can you know
All innocent Christian people are happy for the courts in Salem. Now these people are gloomy for it. And I think you want to know for each and every one of them what discontents them with you.
I think they ought to be examined, sir.
It is not necessarily an attack, I think. Yet,
These are all covenanted Christians, sir.
then they may have nothing to fear. Goody Cheever, have a warrant drawn up on these and the rest for examination.
Yes, sir.
You may sit, Mr. Corey.
I brought trouble and misery on these people.
No, old man, you have not hurt these children. They are of good conscience. Now, by God's grace, the shining sun is up, and them that fear not might will surely praise it. I hope you'll be one of those. Oh, she's not hardy, I see.
No, she's not, sir. Mary, you cannot weep. Remember the angel Raphael and what he said to the boy Tobias? Remember it?
I,
To which his good no harm will come to thee.
Come, man, we wait for you.
Say nothing more, John. He's just playing you. He's meaning to hate us, and he's meaning to hate us all.
This is the court of law, mister. I will have no effrontery here.
Forgive him, sir, for his old age. Peace, Giles. Prove it all now. Mary, tell the governor. She has signed a deposition. I'd ask you to read it, sir. But first, would you please remember that until 2 weeks ago, she was no different than any of the children are today. You saw her scream. She howled. She swore familiar spirits choked her. She even testified that Satan, in the form of a woman now in jail, tried to win her soul away. And when she refused,
I saw that many times.
she swears she never saw Satan, nor any spirits beg or declare that Satan may have sent to her. And she declared her friends are lying now.
Excellency, a moment. I think this goes to the heart of the matter.
It surely does.
I cannot say he's an honest man because I know him little. But a claim so weighty cannot be argued by a farmer. In God's name, sir, stop here and send him home, and let him come back again with a lawyer.
Mr. Hale, surely you do not doubt my justice.
Excellency, I have signed over 72 death warrants, and I am a minister of the Lord. And I dare not take the life of that who would be so immaculate that no slightest qualm of conscience may doubt it.
Mr. Hale,
I have signed away the soul of Rebecca Nurse this morning, and I will not conceal it. My hand yet shakes with the wound. But, sir, this argument let lawyers present to you.
that is precisely what I'm about to consider, sir. What more are you asking me? Unless you got my probity,
I surely do not, sir, but let you think on it.
and let you put your heart to rest. For deposition, Mr. Proctor.
I should like to question
Mr. Parrish, I bid you be silent. Goody Cheever, go into the court and bring the children here. Mary Warren, how came you to this turnabout? Has Mr. Proctor threatened you for this deposition?
No, sir.
Has he ever threatened you?
Yes, sir.
Has he threatened you?
No, sir.
Then you tell me that you sat in my court policy lying when you knew that people would hang by your evidence? Answer me!
I did, sir.
How were you instructed in your life, Mary? Do you not know that God damns all liars? Or is it now that you lie?
No, I am with God now.
You're with God now.
I, sir.
I will tell you this. You are either lying now or you are lying in the court. And in either case you have committed perjury and you will go to jail for it. You cannot lie until you lie, Mary. Do you know that?
I can lie no more. I am with God. I am with God. Your Excellency, Ruth Putnam is not in the court, nor the other children.
These will be sufficient. Sit you down, children. Your friend, Mary Warren, has given us a deposition in which she claims that she never saw familiar spirits, apparitions, nor any manifest of the devil. She claims as well that none of you have seen these things either. Now, children, this is a court of law. The law based upon the Bible and the Bible written by Almighty God forbids the practice of witchcraft and describes death and the penalty thereof. But likewise, the law and the Bible damn all bearers of false witness. Now then, it does not escape me that this deposition may have been devised to blind us. It may well be that Mary Warren has been conquered by Satan and sent to distract our sacred purpose. If so, her neck will break for it. But if she speaks true, I bid you now drop your vow and confess, or a quick confession will be easy. Abigail Williams, rise. Is there any truth in this?
No, sir.
Children, a very honor will now be turned into your souls as your honesty is proved. Do either of you change your positions now, or do you force me to harsh questioning?
I have not changed, sir. She lies.
You would still go on with this?
I, sir.
A poppet was discovered in Mr. Proctor's house, stabbed by a needle. Mary Warren claims that you sat beside her in the court while she made it, and that you watched her make it, and watched her stick her needle into it for safekeeping. What say you to that?
It is a lie, sir.
Why do you work for Mr. Proctor? Did you ever see any poppets in that house?
Goody Proctor always kept poppets.
Your Honor, my wife never kept no poppets. Mary Warren confessed to her poppet.
Your Excellency,
Good achiever.
I spoke with Goody Proctor in the house. She said that she never kept no poppets, but she did keep poppets when she was a girl.
She's not been a girl for 15 years, Your Honor.
But a poppet will keep 15 years, will it not?
It'll keep if it's kept. Mary Warren swears she never saw no poppets in my house, nor anywhere else. Why could there not been a poppet here when no one's ever seen one? There also might have been a dragon with 5 legs, but no one's ever seen it. We are here, Your Honor, precisely to discover what no one has ever seen. Mr. Danforth, what prompted this girl to turn herself about? What may Mary Warren gain but hard questioning worse?
You are charging Abigail Williams
with a marvelous full plot to murder. Do you understand that? I do. I believe she means to murder. This child would murder your wife?
It is not a child. Now hear me, sir. In sight of the congregation, she heard twice as you're kicked out of the meeting house for laughter during prayer.
What's this? Laughter? Your Honor, she ran her teacher with power at that time, but she is solemn now.
Oh, now she's solemn. Now she's needing to hate the people.
Quiet, man.
Surely you have no bearing on the question, sir. He charges contemplation of murder.
Aye. Continue, Mr. Proctor.
Mary, tell the governor how you danced in the woods.
Mr. Proctor,
Abigail leads the girls into the woods and then danced there naked.
Your Honor, since I came to jail, this man's been blocking my name.
In a moment, sir. Mr. Parrish discovered them himself in the dead of night. There's a child, she is.
Mr. Paris.
I can only say, sir, that I never found any of them naked. And this man right here is lying.
But you discovered them dancing.
Excellency,
Abigail?
I can only say that when I arrived from Beverly, Mr. Parrish told me that.
Do you deny it, Mr. Paris?
I do not, sir. But I never saw any of them naked.
But they have danced.
Aye, sir.
Mr. Danforth,
Yes?
Mary Warren, you say no, sir. You say no spirit ever attacked you. Were you ever attacked by any manifest of the devil or the devil's agent?
No, ma'am.
And yet when people accused you of witchery, confronted you in court, you say the spirits came out of their bodies and choked you.
They were pretense, ma'am.
I cannot hear you.
They were pretense, sir.
But you did turn cold, did you not? I myself picked you up many times when your skin were icy. Mr. Danforth,
I saw that many times.
She was pretending. They're all marvelous pretenders.
Then can she pretend to faint now?
Now? Why not? For now, there's no spirits attacking her. For no one in this courtroom is accused of witchcraft. So let her turn herself cold now. Let her pretend she's attacked now. Let her faint. Faint!
Faint?
Aye, faint. And prove to us how you pretended in court so many times.
I cannot faint now, sir.
Can you not pretend it?
I have no sense of it.
Why? What is lacking now?
I cannot tell, sir.
Might it be that here there is no afflicting spirit loose, but in the court there were some?
I never saw no spirit.
They see no spirits now. And prove to us you can faint by your own will as you claim.
I cannot do it.
Then you will confess, will you not? We're attacking spirits that made you faint.
No, sir,
Your Honor, this is a trick to blame the court.
It's not a trick. I used to faint because I thought I saw spirits,
But you saw them.
but I did not. I do not know. The other girls, they were screaming. And you, Your Honor, you seemed to believe them. And the whole world cried, spirits, spirits. And I only thought I saw them, Your Honor, but I did not.
Excellency, surely you're not taken by the simple lie.
Abigail, I bid you now search your heart and tell me this. To God it be so precious and vengeance on this terrible that to blacken up cause. Is it possible, child, that the spirits you have seen are illusion only?
What?
Some deception that may cross your mind when...
This is a base question, sir.
Child, I would have you consider...
Mr. Danforth, I have been hurt. I have seen my blood meter running out every day. I have been here to murder, pointing out the devil's people in this town. And this is my reward? To be mistrusted, denied, questioned like...
Child!
No, like you! Beware, Mr. Danforth. Think you so mighty that the power of hell may not turn your wits? Beware of it. There is...
What is it, child?
I know not. A wind. A cold wind has come. Abby!
Your Honor, I'm free. They're pretending, Mr. Danforth.
She is cold.
Mary, you send the shadow on me? Lord, save me. I freeze, I freeze. A wind, a cold wind has come.
Mary Warren, do you send your spirit out?
No. Let me go into the I cannot. Take away the shadow.
Why do you call heaven whore? Man, what are you doing?
Be gone. Be gone, I say.
Mary Warren, drop back your spirit out of them.
Why do you come, yellow bird?
Where's the
bird, I see no bird.
My face? My face?
Mr. Hale, be quiet. You see a bird? Be quiet.
But God made my face. You cannot want to tear my face, Mary. Envy is a deadly sin. Abby! Abby, I'm here. Oh, Mary, please don't come down. Her claws. She's stretching her claws.
Fly.
Mary, please don't hurt me. I'm not hurting her.
Why does she see this vision?
She sees nothing. She sees nothing. Abby, you mustn't. Abby, you mustn't. I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. I'm here.
Come back to the devil?
Mr. Danforth! Mr. Danforth!
Why can they only repeat me?
They're sporting me! They're sporting! Abby, stop it! Abby, stop it! Stop it! Stop it!
A little while ago you were afflicted. Now it seems you afflict others. Where did you find this power?
I have no power. I have no power.
Keep going! Mary Ward, you have seen the devil, have you not?
Your Honor, I see nothing.
She's on the raptor. She's spreading her wings. She's walking in the beam. Watch out! She's gonna come!
Mary, the devil got me.
Get away from me! Don't touch me!
Mary,
You're the devil's man!
praise God!
Praise God! I love God!
He bid you do the devil's work?
He come and be my knight! To sign! To sign!
Dying what? The devil's foot? He comes with the foot?
I'll murder you, he says, if my wife hates. We must go and overthrow the court, he says.
Mr. Hale!
No! His eyes are like coal and his fingers claw my neck and I sign. I sign.
Excellency, this child has gone wild.
Mary.
No! I go your way no more. I love God. I bless God. Abby, what's the worries anymore?
What are you? You are combined with Antichrist, are you not? I have seen your power. You will not deny it. What say you,
Excellency,
I will have nothing from you, Mr. Hale. Do you confess this power, or do you keep your black allegiance yet? What say you?
I said God is dead! Hear it! Hear it! It fires burning. I hear the brood of Lucifer, and I see his filthy face, and my face, and yours, Danforth. Blend that quail to bring men out of ignorance, as I have quailed. And as you quail now, when in all your black hearts you know this be fraud, God damns our kind especially. We will burn together.
Marshal, take him and Corey with him to the jail.
I denounce this proceeding.
Point down heaven and raise it up the whore! I quit this court, Mr. Hale! Mr. Hale!
Following the Second World War, anti-communist hysteria was on the rise. Books were banned because the loyalty of the authors was questioned. Actors and directors such as Edward G. Robinson, James Cagney, Gregory Peck, and Humphrey Bogart were accused of being communists. Many actors, directors, and writers were placed on a blacklist, which labeled them as undesirables, not to be hired. Innocent people were badgered and denied their constitutional right as they were accused of disloyalty.
Madam Chairman, I have a statement here which I wish to make. Well, all right. Let me see your statement. I do not care to read any more of this statement. The statement will not be read. I read the first line.
You have spent 1 week vilifying me before the American public, and you refuse to allow me to make a statement on my rights as an American citizen.
I refuse to allow you to make the statement because of the first sentence. That statement is not pertinent to the inquiry. Now, this is a congressional committee set up by law. We must have orderly procedure, and we are going to have orderly procedure. Mr. Strickland, identify the witness.
My rights as an American citizen are important in this room here, and I intend to stand up for those rights, Congressman Thomas.
Mrs. Lawson, will you state your full name, please?
I wish to protest against the unwillingness of this committee to read a statement when you permitted Mr. Warner, Mr. Mayor, and others to read statements in this room here. My name is Joanna Lawson,
When and where were you born?
New York City,
What year?
1894.
Give us the exact date.
September 25th.
Mrs. Lawson, you are here in response to a subpoena which was served upon you September 19th, 1947. Isn't that correct?
That is correct.
What is your occupation, Mrs. Lawson?
I am a writer.
How long have you been a writer?
All my life. At least 35 years since my adult life.
Have you ever been a member of the Screenwriters Guild?
The raising of any question in regards to membership, political beliefs, or affiliation is
Madam Chairman.
absolutely beyond the power of the committee.
Madam Chairman.
But it is a matter of public record that I am a member of the Screenwriters Guild.
Madam Chairman, I ask that you instruct the witness to be more responsive to the question.
I think the witness will be more responsive to the question.
Madam Chairman, you permitted
Never
witnesses in
mind.
this room to make statements of 3 or 4 or 500 words of questions asked here.
Mrs. Lawson, you will please be responsive to the question and not continue to try to disrupt the...
I am not on trial here, Madam Chairman. This committee is on trial here before the American people. Let us get that straight.
We do not want you to be on trial.
Mrs. Lawson, how long have you been a member of the Screenwriters Guild?
Since it was founded in its present form in 1933.
Have you ever held any position on the Screenwriters Guild?
The question of whether I have held office is also a question which is beyond the purview of this committee. It is an invasion of the Bill of Rights of this country.
Please, be responsive to the question.
It is also a matter of public record.
You asked to be heard. Through your attorney, you asked to be heard. And we want you to be heard. And if you do not care to be heard, we will excuse you and we will put the record in without your answer.
I wish to frame my own answers to your questions, Madam Chairman, and I intend to
And
do
you will
so.
be responsive to the questions.
I
or you
will
leave the
frame
witness
my
stand.
own answers, Madam Chairman.
Go ahead, Mr. Strickland.
Mrs. Lawson, I repeat the question. Have you ever held any position on the Screenwriters Guild?
I stated that it is outside the purview of the rights of this committee.
We
to
will
inquire.
determine whether it is in the purview of this committee.
My rights as an American citizen are no less than the responsibilities of this committee of Congress.
Come on, now you're just making a big scene for yourself and getting all head up. Be responsive to the questioning, just the same as all the witnesses have. You are no different from the rest.
I am being treated differently from the rest.
You are not being treated differently.
Other witnesses have been able to make statements which included quotations from books, references to material which had no connection whatsoever with the interests of this committee.
Connection. Now you go ahead.
It is absolutely beyond the power of this committee to inquire into my association in any organization.
Mrs. Lawson, you will have to stop or you will leave the witness stand. And you will leave the witness stand because you are in contempt. That is why you will leave the witness stand. And if you are just trying to force me to put you in contempt, you are not going to have to try much harder. And you know what has happened to a lot of people who have been in contempt of this committee this year, don't you?
Well, I am glad that you have made it perfectly clear that you're going to threaten and intimidate the witnesses. I am an American and I'm not allowed to intimidate and don't think I am.
Mrs. Lawson, I repeat the question. Have you ever held any position on the Screenwriters Guild?
I stated that it is outside the purview of the committee. But it is a matter of public record that I have held many offices on the Screenwriters Guild. I was its first president in 1933, and I have held office on the board of directors of the Screenwriters Guild at other times.
You have been employed by the motion picture industry, have you not?
I have
Can you list some of the studios that you've worked for?
practically all of the studios, all the major studios.
As a screenwriter?
That is correct.
Can you list some of the scripts that you've written pictures for?
You are now inquiring into the freedom of press and communications over which you have no control whatsoever. You don't have to bring me here 3,000 miles to find out what pictures I have written. The pictures I have written are very well known. There are such pictures as Action in the North Atlantic,
Mrs.
That
Lawson.
Era, such pictures as Blockade, of which I am very proud, and in which I introduced the danger that this democracy faced from the attempt to destroy democracy in Spain in 1937. These matters are all matters of public record.
Mrs. Lawson, would you object if I read a list of pictures?
I have no objection at all.
Did you write Dynamite by MGM?
I preface my answer again by stating that it is outside the purview of this committee, but it is well known that I did.
Seabat by MGM?
It is well known that I did.
Success at Any Price, RKF.
Yes, that is from a play of mine, Success Story.
Columbian. No, Party Wire, Columbian.
Yes, I did.
You've probably written others, have you not?
Many others. You have missed a lot of that.
And you don't care to furnish them to the committee now, do you?
Not in the least interested.
Mrs. Lawson, are you now, have you ever been a member of the Communist Party of the United States?
In framing my answer to that question, I must emphasize the points that I raised before. The question of communism is in no way related to this inquiry, which is an attempt to get control of the screen and to invade the basic rights of American citizens in all fields.
Now I must object.
Madam Chairman,
The question here relates not only to the question of my membership in any political organization, but this committee is attempting to establish the right which has been historically denied to any committee of this sort, to invade the basic rights, privileges, and immunity of American citizens, whether they be Protestant, Methodist, Jewish, or Catholic, whether they be Republicans or Democrats or anything else.
Mrs. Lawson, now just quiet down again. Mrs. Lawson, the most pertinent question we can ask is whether or not you have ever been a member of the Communist Party. Now, do you care to answer that question?
You are using the old technique which was used in Hitler Germany in order to create a scare here, in order to create an entirely false atmosphere in which this hearing is conducted, in order that you can then smear the motion picture industry and proceed to the press to any form of communication in this country.
You have learned.
The Bill of Rights was established precisely to prevent the operation of any committee which can invade the basic rights of Americans. Now, if you want to know...
Mrs. Lawson, you're not answering the question.
If you want to know about the perjury that has been committed here and the perjury that is planned, permit me and my attorneys to bring in here as witnesses that testified last week and permit us to cross-examine these witnesses, and we will show up the whole issue of lies.
We are going to get the answer to that question if we have to stay here for a week. Are you a member of the Communist Party? Or have you ever been a member of the Communist Party?
It is unfortunate, Miss Patty, that I have to teach this committee the basic principles of
That is
Americanism.
not the question. That is not the question. The question is, have you ever been a member of the Communist Party?
I am framing my answer in the only way in which any American citizen can frame an answer to a question which absolutely invades his rights.
Refuse to answer the question. Is that correct?
I have told you that I will offer my beliefs, affiliations, and everything else to the American public, and they will know where I stand. As they do for what I've written. I have written Americanism for many years, and I shall continue to fight for the Bill of Rights which you are trying to destroy.
Take this woman away from the stairs.
One reason we study history is to learn from our past mistakes. Twice in American history, Americans have falsely accused their countrymen and have allowed an hysterical fear to override their good judgment. We can only hope that learning this lesson twice will be enough to prevent this from ever happening again.